King B News and Views with another video. So we're going to get into health. And this article by phys.org, phys.org, released a month ago. Researchers discover a family of natural compounds that selectively kill parasites. Let's get into this one. An international team led by researchers at the University of Toronto has found a family of natural compounds with potential as new and more effective treatments for parasitic worms. The compounds stall the unique metabolic process that worms use to survive in the gut. And they got a picture here, and it's showing the distinct rotoquinone-dependent metabolism of parasitic helminths is an attractive target for anthelmintic development. So these are the parasites, and it's showing the RQ. But let's finish with the article. Let's continue. Parasitic worms transmitted through soil wreak havoc in developing countries and the tropics. Infection by these parasites leads to malaise, weakness, malnutrition, and other debilitating symptoms, and can cause developmental defects in children and impair their growth. Soil-transmitted parasitic worms infect over 1 billion people around the world, typically in low-income communities of developing countries without comprehensive health care and infrastructure for sanitation, said Taylor Davey, first author on the study and PhD student at U of T's Donnelly Center for Cellular and Biomolecular Research. Parasites are becoming less susceptible to the few anthelmintic drugs available, so there's an urgent need to find new compounds. The study is published in the journal Nature Communications. Many parasitic worm species live out a large portion of their life cycle inside a human host. To adapt to the environmental conditions of the gut, particularly a lack of oxygen, the parasite switches to a type of metabolism that depends on a molecule called rotoquinone. The parasite can survive inside its human host for many months using RQ-dependent metabolism. The research team chose to target the adapted metabolic process of the parasitic worm because RQ is only present in the parasite system. Humans do not produce or use RQ. Therefore, compounds that can regulate the molecule's production or activity would selectively kill the parasite with no harm done to the human host. The researchers conducted a screen of natural compounds isolated from plants, fungi, and bacteria on the model organism C. elegans. While it is not a parasite, this worm also depends on RQ for metabolism when oxygen is not available. This is the first time that we have been able to screen for drugs that specifically target the unusual metabolism of these parasites, said Andrew Fraser, principal investigator on the study and professor of molecular genetics at the Donnelly Center and the Temerity Faculty of Medicine. The screen was only possible because of recent progress made by our group and others in using C. elegans to study RQ-dependent metabolism, and our collaboration with Riken, one of Japan's biggest research agencies. We screened their world-class collection of 25,000 natural compounds, resulting in our discovery of a family of benzimidazole compounds that kills worms relying on this type of metabolism. The researchers suggest a multi-dose regimen using the newly discovered family of compounds to treat parasitic worms. While a single dose treatment is easier to facilitate in mass drug administration programs, a longer treatment program would eliminate the parasite more effectively. We are very pleased with the results of the study, which made use of our library, said Hiroyuki Osada, a professor of pharmacy at the University of Shizuoka and group director of the Chemical Biology Research Group at the Riken Center for Sustainable Resource Science. The study shows the power of the screening approach, allowing researchers in this case to search through a very large number of molecules within a focused collection of natural products. Screens are very efficient, which is key for addressing urgent research questions of global relevance like this one. Next steps for the research team are to refine the new class of inhibitors through additional in vivo testing with parasitic worms, which will be performed by the Kaiser Lab at the University of Basel in Switzerland, and to continue screening for compounds that inhibit RQ. This study is just the beginning, said Fraser. We have found several other very powerful compounds that affect this metabolism, including for the first time a compound that blocks the ability of the worms to make RQ. We hope our screens will deliver drugs to treat major pathogens around the world. And that is the end of the article. But what I find curious is that they've made no mention of, now they talking about parasites or worms that come from the soil. But they've made no mention about parasites that comes from the food we eat, right? They didn't mention that, because there's a lot of parasites that are in the foods that we eat, from fish to pork, pig, of course, cows, chickens. These animals, a lot of animals as well as fish, have a lot of parasites in them, right? A lot of parasites in them, okay? But these parasites, for example, I'll give you an example. A long time ago when I was still eating meat, I had some fish, so I soak my fish in water with lemon and vinegar in the water. And I have my fish soaking in the water with lemon and vinegar. And I come back, check on the fish, and see this long white parasite that came out of the fish, because the acidity of the acid from the lemon and the vinegar was killing the parasite. But that's just an example of I didn't eat that fish, by the way, but that's just an example of how there's parasites in the foods we eat, in the meat we eat. Got to be careful. And for those of you who still eat meat, I don't eat meat at all. I don't eat meat. I don't eat anything from an animal. You have to be real careful. When you're buying your meat, where you buying your meat from. If you have a farm near you, wherever you live, where you can go to and you can buy your meat that way. And when you get your meat, cleaning your meat, soaking your meat. Use some lemons and some vinegar and soak your meat. You'll be surprised when you come back what you see in that water. Trust me, I've done it many times through the years when I was eating meat. Okay? So this is what's going on. But this article made no mention of that. There's a lot of parasites in the foods that we eat. And there's a lot of remedies out there. If you look, there's a lot of people who are health conscious who have put out information or are putting out information as far as what we can use to rid ourselves of these parasites in our bodies. So do your research on that. All right, but this is King B News and Views with the health article on parasites. All right, this is King B News and Views. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to each and every one of you. Love yourself unconditionally. Keep your loved ones close. We have to protect our children and our babies and our women. I just done a video talking about a case that happened in West Virginia. This couple, devils, and what they were doing with these 5 adopted melanated children. Check that video out. Check out my other videos as well that I have on this channel. All right, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Subscribe, click all so you'll be notified whenever I release a new video. I have a backup channel, King B News 2, as well as a workout channel, King B Workouts, where you can join me on my journey of health, working out, as well as still talking about life and what's going on currently, current events. Thank you for tuning in. Be safe out there. Make sure you plan. Stay ready. So whatever situation comes your way, you'll be equipped and you know exactly how to handle that situation. Be safe out there, everyone. This is King B News and Views. To the next video. Peace.